What's up, broskies? Damocles here, and today I am waking up early in the morning to tell you that Sylveon already got nerfed, and to just confirm the nerfs, and then to talk about some other Pokemon that I'm surprised haven't been touched yet. So if you like this content, please consider subscribing and liking if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, share it around to people, come follow me on TikTok for shorter guides, at me on Twitter or in Discord if you have any questions. And hey, look at that. Thank you for the sub, broski. But without further ado, let's just hop into it, okay? All right, so they essentially pulled a bait and switch and nerfed Sylveon's damage output in its main damaging abilities, namely Hyper Voice and Mystical Fire. Cerebi.net already has the pre and post damage values on their site, so I'll put the link in the description, but I just wanted to show you here. Before the nerf, Mystical Fire was dealing 3,346 damage at level 15 with no items, and now it is dealing 2,126 damage. If you go and you pop Calm Mind plus Mystical Fire, you're going to be looking at 2,505 damage total. Let's take a look at Hyper Voice real quick before I give my opinion. So Cerebi at level 15 with no items has Hyper Voice pre-nerf value dealing 6,006 total damage at maximum range, which is what everybody should be aiming for anyway. And now it is at 4,825 damage, which is a pretty significant damage drop, guys. That's fairly significant. That's 1,200 damage you're taking off the top of Hyper Voice, which is pretty big. Just to put that into perspective, if you pop Calm Mind and Hyper Voice, you're going to be dealing 5,853 damage, which is still not hitting that pre-nerf base level Hyper Voice value. And then just for giggles, if you were running Hyper Voice plus X Attack plus Calm Mind, you're still just barely getting over the pre-nerf damage values of Hyper Voice at a base level. So what does this mean for Sylveon as a whole? Honestly, I still need to do further testing before I fully go and say, hey, like, this really hurts the character. But my gut reaction is that it's definitely going to hurt. It's a significant damage drop on all of its main damaging abilities. And what I am concerned with is this Pokemon being nerfed to the point of getting into like pre-buff Venusaur tiers of play, if that makes sense. So like before Petal Dancing Giga Drain became what it is, it was pretty worthless. It required you to be in close range to your opponents, and even though you had like a heal, it just wasn't enough to keep you alive. Now Sylveon has a bunch of stuff in his toolkit that I talked about in my, why is it OP video, but that's my concern off the top is I'm worried that this character is just going to devolve into a type of pre-nerf, pre-buff Venusaur Giga Drain type character, if that makes sense. But furthermore, my problem with this is, look, in MOBAs, not Pokemon, but characters get released all the time and then see damage adjustments, see damage nerfs. But my thing is, like, we've seen a number of characters now be released that maybe are a little bit above where their value should be, or Pokemon that clearly need a little bit more balance, a little bit more counterplay, and we haven't seen those changes come through yet. But a new character like this that is, widely loved by a lot of people will be released in a really strong state and then immediately nerfed 2 days later. And I'm not that big of a fan of that. The only reason is because it's like, a lot of people purchased this character, saw it did a lot of damage, or not necessarily in that order. Maybe they saw it did a lot of damage and then purchased this character, and now it has been nerfed. And then also I just wanted to just briefly touch on, like, you've got characters like Blastoise, you've got characters like Lucario, who have been really strong basically since release. And I think that should be enough data at this point to say, hey, let's go and, tweak that character a little bit, right? Like, it's not like Sylveon where, it should have been play tested prior to its release, right? That's the hope. And, maybe you have to make some quick tweaks after the fact, but it's like, we have data on Blastoise. We have data on Garchomps. We have data on Venusaurs and on Lucarios, and like how much damage they deal or don't deal or how well they're doing in games, or how much what their pick rate is in games. And I feel like more balance changes should have come than just Sylveon, right? Like Garchomp mains, it's seen a couple of buffs, but it hasn't seen the buffs that it really needs. Or, Lucario mains, I'm sorry to say, but like Lucario has been, not to quote Mary J. Blige again, but Lucario's been too strong for too long. I mean, this character has no perceivable weaknesses. It is good at literally everything. All-rounders are not supposed to be masters at every single role. They're supposed to be, jack of all trades, master of none. But Lucario is the opposite. Lucario is jack of nothing, master of everything. Characters like Venusaur right now, where it's like clearly in a more broken state, right? No character in any MOBA should be able to spam a 40% damage reduction every like 0.5 seconds that heals as well as deals AoE damage, plus gives a movement speed increase. Like, this character should be seeing some kind of a tweak, in my opinion. Like, I'm not calling for nerfs, but I'm just saying, like, you have these other outliers. Blastoise, incredible defender right now. So is Snorlax, but Blastoise's damage output for a defender is bonkers. That is something that sticks out to everybody. Everybody knows this. So I just feel like, okay, you're going to nerf Sylveon's damage output. It's a pretty quick nerf. And in my opinion, it's probably going to end up being a pretty significant nerf overall, in my opinion. That's just my gut instinct on it. But that's my thoughts on the matter, guys. I just feel like, don't go and just make these real quick balance adjustments. If you're not going to go and make these balance changes on characters that really need it, that we have data for, right? Like, you're like Blastoise and Lucario and Venusaur. You've got these characters that are, in my opinion, overperforming. And you've got characters like Gardevoir, where Routes is literally widely regarded as the absolute worst Pokemon in the entire game for basically 7 minutes of the game. And Routes isn't seeing any like crazy improvements. Like, it's just stuff like that where it's like, I would really like to see some of these other changes in addition to just instant nerfs on newly released Pokemon. But I hope that kind of generally sums up how I feel about the situation. It's not that I'm like mad that like Sylveon got nerfed, which, I mean, it stings a little bit, because like I feel like a lot of people watch videos and say like, oh, this character is powerful, I'm gonna go pick this character up, and then they spend their coins on it, and then 2 days later you nerf it. When I think that if this character was overperforming in this much of a way to warrant, if you compare it to all these other overperforming characters, this warrants an immediate reaction. Like, I think that there should be more testing being done prior to its release. And then I also just to reiterate, I feel like there's other characters that need love, like Gardevoir, Garchomp, and stuff like that, and other characters that need little tweaks. I would like to see all of those coming out in a balance patch instead of just a quick reaction to Sylveon. So that's my general opinion, guys. Sorry if I rambled a little bit. It is literally like 5 a.m. here. I just woke up. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you guys supporting the content. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the absolute world to me. We're almost at 2,100 subs because you guys are just the best. And if you made it this far, drop a salad in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. Damocles out.